All right, I was tag teamed into this conversation by Laura over here. A gentleman was complaining about liberal women in his town not finding him attractive enough to date, and complaining that the liberal men are not so mannish. So I was asked to respond, so here it goes. Here's the thing, there, buddy. When you are talking about being an ultra conservative, you're talking about MAGA, you're talking about whatever those types of beliefs are, and you equate them to being old school. You're being conservative, being old school. That's not really the same thing. Being old school is being a gentleman, being open-minded, being kind. Being a conservative today or MAGA today is the exact opposite. It's not being respectful of women. It's not taking care of women. It's not sticking up for women's rights. It's not treating women as equals. And when you say old school, it makes people think that you're talking about old, like before women had rights. Like that's what you're preferring. And in that respect, that is why open-minded women, liberals, Democrats, whatever you want to classify them as, which is another thing they just love, by the way, they recognize that. And that's something that you need to recognize is disrespectful to women. So it's not so much as that you're closed-minded and only thinking in one way and basically want a woman barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. You're also basically telling them that you want them before they had rights. You want them to be under you, to be your servant, to be your old school. I would recommend, because you did pretend that this was actually aimed at the men and you want men's advice, so here you go. From an independent, you would say a liberal, I will tell you this. The reason why women where you are seem not to be pursuing you is because they like their rights. They like equal rights. They like to be respected. They like to actually have an opinion that counts. They like a mutual relationship. They would prefer a man that actually would go out of their way for them and not expect them to wait on him. And when you're projecting the way you are, that would kind of explain the difficulty you're having, not just in your area, but you would have that difficulty in other areas too. So my suggestion, man to man, if it's not mannish enough for you, is to start respecting women more, giving them the opportunity to actually, follow their hearts and follow their dreams. And here's a big kicker. Be supportive of that. That's not this big feminism thing. That's just treating them like they're equals to you. And most conservatives or MAGAs, whatever, don't feel that way. They're okay with taking all the rights away from women and disrespecting women. And it's perfectly normal to say you're going to grab them by the... and it should be fine for everybody, and women will still love you. Well, they won't. At least good women won't. Take that advice as you may. But I would really rethink your whole perspective on women to begin with, because you're kind of blaming them for you. Look within yourself, my man. Look in the mirror. And don't see who you pretend to be, but see who you are. And present that honestly. When you're old school, are you gentleman old school? Or are you before women had rights old school? Just a question. God bless.